listening to another one of your podcasts, it's so funny to see your beautiful face after hearing your voice. Like, is this real? Is this really happening?
I love your shirt. It absolutely
Thank
goes with
you.
the book.
Does it go with the dirty hair? I thought
No, your
maybe.
hair looks fabulous.
Does it? Thank
Really
you.
great.
The book.
Oh, there it is. There you
We're all
go.
helping each other to open our eyes and open our minds. So very important.
Absolutely. Did you listen to my LGBT episode?
That was my first one. It's fabulous.
Yeah. What did you think?
I I loved it. I think that one of the most important things we need to understand as human beings is that gender identity is not sexual identity.
Yes.
That sometimes people take that to mean the same thing, and people
Yeah.
don't want to talk about it because they think they're talking about people's sexual practices or how they like things to be.
Yes.
But it's really not that. It can be. We can certainly go that way, and that might be quite fun. But but gender identity, how a person wants to describe themselves, what pronouns they would like to assign to themselves, what name they choose for themselves, is just like a basic human right, in my view. And
Absolutely.
it shouldn't be as difficult to get people to understand. I understand resistance.
Yeah.
We've all experienced it, particularly as women.
Yes.
But, you know, we have to move forward, and we have to realize that these things are existing, whether or not we wrote them,
Yeah.
agree with them, understand them. So with that in mind, let's listen, let's be open, and let's make the world better for all of us.
Absolutely. There was one thing that my guest Sarah said in that episode that I wanted to ask you about. Now, she talked about the word bisexual, and I know the word bisexual is your B word, isn't it?
It is, and that's a sexual identity, not a gender identity.
Yeah. And she was saying that, in the episode, she was saying maybe that's a term that's probably not going to get used so much because people who are traditionally bisexual would probably have a date people with more genders than just two.
Right. I think you're right, because bi is the binary, two
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
And also, I just made me think of another thing she said about intersex when she was explaining the
Yes.
LGBTQIA plus, that intersex doesn't really have a reason to be in that necessarily, since this is a result of biology, not so much of
Yes.
choice. And, how that goes, what that person does with their sexual life could be a result of what gender they ended up with by the
Yeah.
doctors making determination, because it was unclear. So I do take that point. I do think about that. I've been waiting for somebody to harangue me about it. But so far that hasn't happened. Or, I gave a whole L page for a lesbian. Like, what's that
Yeah.
all about?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that I was also thinking, and I've gotten smarter and smarter and smarter as I go, that for a lot of my students, that's one of the most common situations, is having two moms.
Yeah.
So that I wanted to give credibility to that. I wanted that to get a page. I
Yes.
didn't do H for homosexual. We don't really use that. I didn't do G for gay.
Yeah.
I did do H for heterosexual because, and I did courage instead of cis, C for
Yeah.
cisgender, which,
Yeah.
in retrospect, but, I feel like I wanted, every choice I made was a well thought one, and that sure, there's pushback on different levels.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that we're having a conversation. You and I are having
Absolutely.
a conversation. Other people can have a conversation. If they want to give me flack for not putting C for cisgender right on, I'm happy to take it, because they're reading the book and